Mitch McConnell is the Senate Minority Leader. He is a pretty horrible guy. Yesterday, during Joe Biden's State of the Union, when Joe Biden talked about his job creation record, McConnell didn't seem to like it. He just looked comatose, almost like he had some bad oysters before the event. He was given the opportunity yesterday to actually condemn what Donald Trump said about Vladimir Putin, calling the invasion of Ukraine genius and calling the invasion smart. And he didn't do it. McConnell's very willing to say Putin's bad, but he won't condemn Trump for what he said.
Leader McConnell, you've long been critical of President Vladimir Putin. Was it a mistake for the former president to praise Putin as very savvy, smart, and his Ukraine strategy is genius?
What President Putin is a ruthless thug who's just invaded another sovereign country and killed thousands of innocent people. That's what President Putin is.
So, yeah, McConnell sounds very, very sick. But what he's saying is, I'm not going to say anything about Donald Trump. When Donald Trump said Putin's savvy, genius, smart for what he did, Putin's bad, but I'm not going to condemn Trump. And I almost at this point wonder why, because Trump regularly attacks Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell did appear on Fox yesterday and blamed Joe Biden for what's happening in Ukraine, which is another popular one among the right.
Speech tonight. He goes into the chamber this evening with a 37% approval number. What do you think he needs to do tonight in order to galvanize the United States and to, as you said earlier, make a big course correction? What did you mean by that?
Well, look, he's in this kind of shape because he deserves to be in this kind of shape. Raging inflation, uncontrolled border. In my view, too late to deter Putin. Had we taken some of these steps earlier, this might not have happened. And the president's in a tough position because he deserves to be in a tough position.
Now understand that you really can't win with these people, because if Joe Biden and remember, it's not just the U.S., but if Joe Biden and other European allies had started the sanctions and the flight closures and these things early, these are the Republicans who under Trump were saying we should be getting along with Putin. There's no reason for unnecessary or extraordinary hostilities with Putin. So it's a no-win, because if Biden had started these moves earlier, he would have been criticized for doing too much too quickly and being overly aggressive. Now he's being criticized for not moving quickly enough. And these are just bad faith actors. That's the reality. I don't believe Joe Biden's response has been perfect. And I've criticized the response where I felt that it needs criticism. But these are just bad faith critiques. Now, just for comparison, again, I don't love the guy, but just as a comparison for a different type of Republican, here was Mitt Romney asked about Biden's handling, and he gives a much more normal response about Biden has done some things well. It's not Biden's fault that Putin invaded another country, but you could do better. This is like a more normal Republican response.
I just want to go back in time a little bit, Senator. Do you think it was a mistake for President Biden to rule out U.S. troops on the ground instead of trying to use what's known as strategic ambiguity to deter Vladimir Putin from invading in the first place?
Well, there really wouldn't have been an ambiguity. We don't have the kind of troop strength and material of war in the region to be a serious threat at that point. Look, the Biden administration has done some things very well and some things not so well. The not so well side is they continued the policy of prior administrations not to provide the defensive weapons that Ukraine needed. That was the mistake. The positive thing was sharing our intelligence with our allies and combining our efforts with our allies. Look, we used to be 40% of the world economy. Today, we're about half of that. And so for us to have the kind of economic clout we used to have back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, we really do need to combine with our allies. And that's something President Biden has done extraordinarily well.
So understand that that's sort of like, I know it's weird to hear that. Like, to some people, that might be like, well, that if you didn't know who it was, you'd be like, that must be a Democrat. No Republican would say that Joe Biden is actually doing things that well. There was a point at which more normal Republicans would say, oh, OK, hey, you know what? Your criticism of Biden isn't a good one, and here's why. And Joe Biden, Mitt Romney explained that. On some things, Joe Biden has done a really good job. and here are the things I would have done differently. That at one point was actually normal. And for all of our disagreements with Mitt Romney, if Romney was the worst of the Republican Party, this country would be far better off than we are with people like McConnell, Boebert, Green, Cawthorn, Gohmert, and all of these, Gates and all of these other lunatics. So it would be great if we could go back in that direction. Republicans aren't incentivized to do that. And case in point, someone like Mitt Romney is not a celebrity Republican in the sense that the ones that get attention are the radical crazies, the ones that are willing to do things like Josh Hawley did on January 6, 2021, people like Ted Cruz, et cetera. It's the cartoons. And listen, I'm not giving the Republican Party advice. The country would be better off if Romney was the worst of the party. Sadly, Romney's the best of the party, not the worst of the party. One of our sponsors today is Blue Chew, a unique online service delivering the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. And they're giving my audience an entire month's supply for free. So if you think you could benefit from an extra boost of confidence when it's time, all you have to do is take a short quiz on their website. A licensed doctor approves your prescription. The medication comes straight to your home within days in a discreet package. No driving around to the doctor's office or the pharmacy. No waiting around. No awkward conversations with your doctor. All of Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA. The entire process is just a few clicks. Go to bluechew.com. The link is underneath this video. They'll give you an entire month's supply for free when you use the promo code PACMAN. All you have to do is pay $5 shipping.